welcome to Byte-Sized.
Okay, let's just dive right in, shall we? There's a fundamental reshaping of the entire tech industry happening right now, and it's all being driven by one single powerful force: artificial intelligence. And if you want to get a sense of the scale, just look at this number. $5 trillion. That right there is the projected spending on data centers and compute power needed to fuel AI by 2030. It's a colossal figure that shows you just how big this transformation is. It really is a new gold rush. And the prize this time? It's nothing less than total technological supremacy. So today, we're going to break down the 5 key battlegrounds in this AI arms race. We'll kick things off with the sheer scale of the investment, then we'll jump into the war for the cloud, the struggle for the silicon that powers it all, the rise of some really interesting new challengers, and finally, we'll take a peek over the horizon at what's coming next. See, this isn't just about clever lines of code. It's a full-on race to build the actual physical foundation of our AI-powered future. And this massive investment, it's the rocket fuel for the intense competition we're about to see unfold, from the cloud all the way down to a single chip. And that brings us to our first major battleground, the cloud. For more than a decade, really, one king has ruled this domain. But the incredible demands of AI are starting to shake the very foundations of that kingdom. Now, Amazon's AWS still wears the crown, with 38% of the market. But you gotta look closer. That share has actually plummeted from nearly half just a few years ago. This isn't just a little dip, folks. It's a huge sign that the kingdom is well and truly under siege. And this just perfectly illustrates the new reality we're in. It's not just Microsoft nipping at their heels anymore. Now, because of the unique demands of AI, a whole host of challengers, we're talking Google, a resurgent Oracle, are all making super aggressive plays for the throne. And here is a perfect example of these shifting loyalties. Just imagine being Amazon, right? And your most important, your star AI partner, Anthropic, suddenly starts using Google's cloud as well. Well, that's exactly what is happening. It's a massive signal that in this new AI landscape, no customer is locked in. Everybody is shopping around for the absolute best tech, no matter who's providing it. The financial stakes here are just enormous. This number, $38 billion, that represents a massive debt offering that banks are preparing just to fund data centers tied to Oracle. That is a record for AI infrastructure, and it shows you the incredible, almost ravenous appetite for financing this build-out. And all of this frenzied spending, it's starting to make some very powerful people very nervous. I mean, when the Bank of England itself starts investigating data center lending because they're worried about an AI bubble, you know the stakes are completely off the charts. The question is shifting from how much bigger can this get to, wait a minute, is any of this sustainable? So, with the Cloud Kingdom's dominance being called into question, the war is fiercer than it has ever been. But, this battle isn't just being fought up in the cloud. It goes way deeper, down to the very silicon that powers everything. Right, so deeper down the tech stack, a very similar battle is raging for the chips that power AI. And one of the legacy giants, Intel, is literally fighting for its future. After a really brutal few years, Intel is finally showing some signs of life. They're back in the black, which is great, but it's not because of some AI miracle. Well, not yet anyway. This whole turnaround is actually being driven by their old school business, PC upgrades and server refresh cycles. And this is their comeback plan. What's interesting is they're not trying to beat NVIDIA head-to-head. Instead, it's this clever 3-part strategy. First, dominate their traditional markets again. Second, become the essential foundry, the factory basically, for advanced AI chips. And third, well, if you can't beat them, join them by building a coalition and even partnering with key players, including NVIDIA. But analysts are saying, hold your horses. As one put it, the near term looks good, yeah, but the long game is far from won. Intel's huge bet on manufacturing its own next-gen chips, that's a massive gamble. This comeback story is really only in its first chapter. But it's not just the old giant slugging it out. A whole new wave of insurgents is rising up, and one of the most interesting has got to be a European contender called Mistral AI. So what's Mistral doing? Well, they're winning over big enterprise clients by offering something fundamentally different. Instead of just selling a model, they offer a one-stop shop platform. And here's the crucial difference. Enterprises build and own their AI. The data, the intellectual property, it all stays with the client and can be deployed on private clouds. That's huge. And they're not just some niche player either. They're gaining serious global traction. Look at this. They've built an incredible coalition, pulling in European industrial giants, and, very importantly, partnering with American tech titans like Microsoft and Cisco. This just proves there's a huge global appetite for a powerful alternative to the US-based players. And here is the real takeaway. Mistral isn't just sitting around waiting in line for computing power. Oh no. They are building their own GPU infrastructure in Europe. This is a massive power move, and it proves that this AI arms race is no longer just a two-way fight. New, well-funded players are completely rewriting the rules of the game. Okay, so let's widen our lens one last time. Beyond all these current AI battles over chips and models, there's a technology on the horizon that could literally change everything: quantum computing. Now, the concept is a bit mind-bending, but it's incredibly powerful. So classical computers use bits, right? They're either a 0 or a 1. But quantum computers use what are called qubits, which can be a 0 and a 1 at the exact same time. And this ability to exist in multiple states at once, it unlocks an immense amount of processing power for certain types of problems. And this number just brilliantly illustrates that potential. This isn't theoretical stuff. Google recently ran an algorithm on one of its quantum chips that was 13,000 times faster than what the world's best supercomputers could manage. They used it to calculate the exact structure of a molecule, a task that has massive implications for medicine and material science. The road ahead is long, for sure, but the milestones are becoming clear. We're on a journey from today's experimental chips to a near future, we're talking maybe within 5 years, with real-world applications in science and medicine. But the ultimate prize, that's a stable, million-qubit quantum computer, a machine that could potentially solve some of humanity's greatest challenges. So from the cloud wars and the silicon struggles to the rise of new insurgents and the dawn of quantum computing, the front lines of this AI arms race are constantly shifting. The competition is absolutely fierce, the stakes have truly never been higher, and the future, well, the future is being built right now as we speak. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.